This is Aosoft or Atarashi, and I guess I'm going live. Seems bit better than a bit better than Facebook, because recently I've been able to score at least 5 viewers, 4 sometimes, and other times a bit less. I used to get like 10 viewers at a time, and that was an interesting time. I don't know why I've never thought about going live on YouTube. It seems like an interesting take. And this newsletter or video will be about philosophy and mediation. And I don't know. I I've tried way too hard trying to make likable videos when I was younger. Like a year ago, I would try to use a script, talk to the audience, but it never really worked. It just continued really being poor and bad. And then suddenly I got a epiphany. Why don't I just go and socialize to improve my social skills so I'll be able to talk to you people? And I thought to myself, wow, this is a really good idea. And honestly, I feel a bit uncomfortable tonight because I drink 2 Bangs coffee drinks. Have a bit too much energy and a bit too little. It's kind of like a bit of a entanglement. And it's about 5 a.m. It's beginning to get light outside. It's going to be a pretty good day. Could be a day to hike, could be a day to run. And I always enjoy my day running through that track by the school. Running 3 or 4 laps. I used to do that every day for a while until I lost the motivation. And that happened. And I guess it's sad when that happens. I just gotta say that I feel really appreciative of what I've gone through this past couple weeks. It's been hard every day because I have a bit of anxiety, panic attacks, all that sort of things. Trying to be perfect in every way, or a bit beyond perfect, which is a problem that I never realized is. But I can't really stop doing that because I get distracted and I get OCD harm thoughts sometimes, which causes difficulty. I have to learn to just let things pass. My mind can't help but try to fight it. But by trying to create safety for myself, going through the feedback loop of reward and validation, every time creating a new seek of help, benefit, validation, reward. So it's not necessarily a cycle. If you think of it as a cycle, that makes it even more problematic. But when you see it as a nonlinear kind of thing, it probably benefits you more. This is why it's the worst possible thing to do as a psychologist, is to tell them that it's a reward seek validation cycle. And you have to move through the cycle in order to get better. But it always seems kind of bland and boring the way psychologists try to do it. It should be more fun. And that's why I think that there's better. I don't like to say better. I don't like that word. Improvement is a little bit better, but there are ways to help that kind of a spiral. It's not a spiral, I'm just saying it as an example. So, my room is a little messy. Sometimes I wear the same clothes every day. And, I keep plates everywhere and bowls everywhere. I can see my 3 wrestling packages over there. Yeah, gives me happiness just seeing it. I don't know why. It's maybe my materialistic outlook at times. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Maybe it's that feeling that I'm cool when I have it. I kind of started getting into wrestling and it boom, another idea I can do. I can do lives on wrestling. I can talk about wrestling shows that I've watched on Peacock. And so far, my favorite wrestler right now is Mankind and Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And he's such a great character in the Attitude Era because he clicks with me. He It was so interesting seeing the In Your House episode in Degeneration X segment. It was cool seeing him versus I forgot his name. I'll come up with it later. I'm kind of new to this wrestling thing. And I feel really motivated right now because I just mentioned that. Holy crap. Feeling pretty damn good. And you know, I never knew wrestling would be one of my newest dreams that I wanted to accomplish. I have many dreams. Drawing, personal help, life coaching, personal development, meditation, mediation, socializing, dominance, dominating the dominance hierarchy. That used to be kind of dream I wanted to accomplish. And then things just to perspective. Moved into perspective. And then I thought to myself, what if I can do all of these in different time segments of the day? I can spend some time going live on YouTube and really trying to inspire people and talk about my personal problems and successes and advancement. Yeah, I have to say, it's a bit difficult even doing this because I'm not really getting viewers at the moment. But I know over time I'll get viewers. And it surges that dopamine spot. When you get like 1 or 2 viewers, it feels really good. It does. I hope that I don't seek affirmation from viewers and get too loopy from that or kind of feel empowerment and ego driven mind frame from that because I know it could be a toxicity from that. I think people that get a lot of viewers are slightly toxic to their nature, and there should always be a limited amount of viewers for a person. I believe the best viewership is at least 30,000 to 40,000, maybe 10,000 viewers. That's really good. And I believe it's kind of overbearing to have. I know back then, when I was more renounced and in a different mentality, I think to myself that having 1 million viewers seems kind of normal. It seems like that. But I'm just in this mentality of scarcity. But it's not bad to be scarce. It's just a sort of mental aspect. And that doesn't even make sense saying that. I'm just getting small talk out of this. So I'll reevaluate what this video is about: mediation, philosophy, personal development, life coaching, my dreams and aspirations, my personal path of development, where my successes basically. Um, oh, new new perceptions. I don't really put that with philosophy. It's a little bit different. And I'll start right now. So everybody says meditate, meditate, meditate. Nobody says mediate or or stagnate or any of that. You see, when you do this, close your eyes, perceive things. It doesn't have to be meditation. When you call it meditation, you're rewarding yourself and you're creating a path. And this path goes to a destination, and you don't know what's going to happen after that. You're doing it all blind. But when you mediate, you get into perspective. You're like, okay, this is my environment, this is my breath, this is my mind, how I do things in my mind. And that creates depth, that creates signal. And that goes with your firing signals. And you get kind of an idea of how your mood is, how it travels through your body in perception, in your mind, and all that. You kind of get the gist of where things are. And that's good or bad, depends. What I truly dislike about the philosophy in our world is that people create mind maps or energy maps or all this type of pseudo philosophy where they tell you be your best, be improved, do things that you've never done before, seek validation. Seek enlightenment, seek personal development, be an alpha, don't be a beta. Sigma Mel Grind said, be a pickup artist. All this stuff just doesn't click right. And that's why my name was ASF Beta before. Until I kind of got the gist and created my own personal self, Atarashi. It's a cool name. I like it. And again, this is about philosophy because I found out that kind of lost where I was there. It's that you must create your own personal system for yourself. Your own personal truth that clicks with you. But realize it's a partial truth. And the partiality is kind of like a gist, a perception. It doesn't mean it's true or false. The problem with going down this road is that you could generally create a lot of lies that parade as truth, which I know I've done a lot. And it just doesn't click right. It doesn't work. Because it creates problems for the future. But it's a tough thing to put together. Creates conflict, creates bad paths and traps. And just like Leo Guru said, traps in personal development. That's what happens. So that happens. You go through that process, and then you're like, this isn't good for me. This is toxic. And it is very toxic. The way different sects of philosophy, like Buddhism, Hinduism, um, Zoroastrianism, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Christianity, Muslim tradition, Judaism, all have like these general issues with them. And you almost want to be atheist after that because it's kind of harms your personal identity, personal self, and it's rash, it's warmongering, and you just want to be out of that. And you go through this process of learning through that. And even Leo Gur's messages, you feel a bit of toxicity there and a bit general devastation. And Leo says that you have to feel devastated because you don't exist, because you're God. Oh, whoa, I'm God. So, no, you don't have to really think that way. You're not God. Or you can call yourself that if you desire, but God is but a name, an identity, a threshold. And I don't think we should travel through that threshold because we should value who we are as humans, but not value it like we see currency. Not try to see ourselves as better or less, but kind of get a depth of our own personality, persona, ego, and see the skewness of it. And realize that even in sunyata or Zen or Satori or Nirvana, it's a bit skewed in a proportionally really toxic way. It basically says you matter, you don't matter. You were this, you were that. You are nothing, you are everything. And it's like in different countries, people will be like, yeah, you figured that out already. But you kind of start to go through these developments and you figure out who you are. And it's toxic because it tricks you into believing that you're harming your ego and you have to be spirit driven, soul driven, and eliminate the ego, which I don't actually agree with. When the ego dissipates, it's not its death. It's a different manifestation, a different connection. You connect with a different perception of reality where you're more like a different self. And this self is your creation. But it's not through developing a thought form. It's not that. It's a more rewarding, not more. See, there's a problem there. I said more. It's a cool type of self that you didn't know existed before. And it's still in its infancy. So there that is. And it's painful. But that's just process. And again, there is the issue with that process progress driven path where you don't have to go that way, really. You make mistakes on the way and realize you should be going the other way, or that way, or this way. And it's like, where do you go? And then you realize you have these epiphanies or tragedies, and you're like, holy crap, this could have been way easier if I just did something else rather than follow your curiosity or go through these personal pleasure seeking. That's what we do every day when we don't move into action and do things that we're supposed to do. And then again, there it is again, what you're supposed to do. What is it that you're supposed to do with your day? You think to yourself, you have long silence, and you're like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Then there's this like side to yes, no, maybe. And you're like, should I do something on my day? No. The other way. Should I do something on my day? Yes. Maybe. And you go through this kind of mental structure of what else is there than yes, no, maybe. Maybe there's this general kind of see the silence comes back and it's reminding you to not see in that direction but go through a different perception of value where it's more like a see I said more again see it's a trap in language and this connection we have where we're like, damn, everything I'm saying contradicts whatever I'm trying to display. And this is a really awful thing to do. Give advice when everything contradicts. You don't realize it happens day by day. We contradict ourselves. And then we're like punishing ourselves because we're not truthful. Oh, you're bad. You're awful. You're contradicting everything that you've been saying. And then you start to learn that you shouldn't be taking all this seriously. But at the same time, you should be a little serious. You should have a depth of your own personal status. And the status is social, materialistic, spiritual, that new kind of thing. That your own invention. I don't need to call it anything. And you create an organization out of your personal status. You organize. It's like organizing your binder in school. You put your assignments where they are at, and nobody is giving you the assignment but your own personal self. You'll learn later that you don't know who you're taking assignments from, and because this mind is not really complete, partial, complete. What else is there? And then you think that's dangerous to think that way. And trust me, there's some danger with how we view ourselves or how we view our thoughts. And we do it every day. We're danger driven at times, comfort driven, danger driven. There's all these elements to personal present moment activities. It's different personally from a feedback loop, but it's a depth. It's personal, faceted perception. And like this YouTuber, Coach Red Pill, he says that we should live in multiplicity. And I came up with that idea before, but it's very toxic because it says that you should be yourself, not yourself. You shouldn't not be yourself. You should be different in every determined way, to your boss, to your sister, to your brother, to your friend, to a person at the bar, to a person in a different country. You should be different towards every person. That creates a little bit of segregation there, but it should be maybe balanced. But you start to learn later on is that there's balance. Oh, look, there's another balance. Oh, look, there's another balance. So it's this mind that creates that personal balance. Should not be completely, it shouldn't be forced. But then it kind of creates, you don't know what balance even is. You create this social understanding of balance from personal teachings of what the yin yang is, what Zen, Satori, Nirvana, all that. But is it really balanced or it's primitive? Again, I don't know if this contradicts anything, but you calling that primitive makes you personally advanced. Then you're critiquing others for being primitive. It's kind of a really sad structure. Out of your personal validity of yourself, you're creating fault, protecting yourself by creating more and more personal lies or truth. What do you call it? It's just what you do on the path. Or paths. 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 And then you start to learn that this is exactly exhausting. Every day, trying to stop your mind from doing something bad. You have to correct it over and over again. You get so used to it that in a moment you don't do it. You have to resolve that. That's what OCD is like for a personal person. And you start to develop more OCDs, like taking 2 showers a day or walking confident around people, trying to see their perception of how they view you, getting an ego driven individual kind of boost, and that moves onward. I'm starting to get to the conclusion of personal philosophy. When you're in a scarce mentality and you don't really have the opportunity to talk to many people, you get to this point and you're like, what should you do? And this goes all to a certain path in your in your place. You're like, should I be alone or should I be with people? Alone people, alone people. Is there a way to do both? And there is a way, but each way is correct. Whatever you choose is right. If you're alone, you might get a little crazy, a bit loopy. If you're with people, you might kind of you might get a little bit of a boost with your personal self. You might get social value, materialisticness. If you do both, you create into interdependence. I think what's the word for it? You get a not scarcity. It's like the opposite of scarcity. You get order. Maybe you can call it order. But you don't know if that's technically right. But you do it every day. Even a person that lives in a cave has to come out and interact with people to get food, to get sort of stuff that they need for themselves. And you sometimes you think you have to be alone to protect people around you because maybe you think that whatever you is in here is dangerous. But that's just the diarrhea, as I said at the beginning, in your mind. That's the mental masturbation. And then why do you have to think that way? You have the freedom to think whatever you have to think. And that's the beauty in this. But then you start to realize that there's actual maybe karma that is real, and that karma is your past pretending to be your future, stuck in the present. Scarcity in this complex, you create an inferiority complex. Uh, uh, inferior. What's the other word? Extra. No. Superior. You get a superiority complex, an inferiority complex, and you're stuck in between that. But you start to get out of that and get into the place where you feel, oh wow, I finally in my life feel normal. I finally in my life feel like I'm cool, or I have status. I feel nice. And that, to a different person, might look different, but you're you, and you don't really have much people to get involved with. And it's juxtaposed, I guess. And then you feel a big feeling of peace in tragedy, in unconditional love, which unconditional is like endlessness. But things aren't necessarily endless. You create that idea that there's endlessness for you. You need the inferiority and the superiority in your mind as aspects that you look past and see the problem in that mentality. And we're not about raising, no, stop raising your vibration. Stop trying to get so high, or stop trying to go low, and just see that those are issues with how we view the world a little bit. Because it creates entrapment in personal boxed, dangerous spaces. You get stuck. But if you just sometimes have silence and mediate more. This is a different gist of how I say more. Mediate more is generally saying mediate whenever you have time through your day to recollect, reintegrate, get grounded, and then create space where you can just be in a certain way. But always go back to where you are and do not let your negative thoughts or chaotic thoughts control you. But also let them pass. But sort of create individual balances, stuff like that. Just feel that peace. And it feels rewarding because this little thing that you get rewarded with so-called enlightenment is general currency. I'm saying it's a current. It's It's money in a way. And you should really not become enlightened or go through sunyata or satori nirvana, and create your own personal way of thinking, and don't get trapped in the essences of language, because language has a trap which puts you in a place that you do not want to be in. And that's the conversation about generally what philosophy is and its issues. And now I'll talk about personal development in my path of successes that I've been through. So, occasionally, every Friday or Saturday, I go to the club and I try to talk to people. And the people I talk to are girls, guys, trying to get someone to dance with me, and I get no's a lot. Some people actually like to talk, and you have to keep it going for a while. You come back to them, circle around, continue your path, and it's rewarding. Really, you get mutual beneficial. Uh, uh, what's it called? Reception. That reception. And you will get hurt from some people. They'll say no to you, and they'll laugh, and you'll be like, okay, I'll go to the next person and talk. Continue that for a while. Go play pool, and that's what I do. And it feels really good. It feels great. And continuing that path is pretty much it's nice. I'm gonna go downstairs for a bit. And that's how it works for a while. And it feels great. And you get that sense of reception. And it's dark in here. I'm gonna turn on the light. Whew. I've been talking for nearly 40 minutes, and it feels pretty good, pretty damn good. So, out of all of that, I've been able to speak more, talk more, feel more real, not so fake life. And that's my personal success that I've gone through. And that's all I really have to say for now. But I don't think there's anything else to say. Nearly 40 minutes. And yeah. Thank you. How do you end a live on YouTube? That's confusing.